Good morning. I hope you had a great start into the new week. I just made my second coffee and I've got to take out my sourdough loaf that has been proofing in our fridge since last night because I want to bake that this morning. And I wanted to take you along with me while I am prepping a few things for us for the week, just to make life a little bit easier in between work and, everyday life. So that when I come home from work, I don't really have to worry about dinner, or when I want a snack, I don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat. It's just going to help us to eat a little bit healthier throughout the week. This is how it's looking right now. And I've got a new addition to my sourdough baking. I recently ordered this beautiful Dutch oven. I cleaned it already. Look how beautiful that is. And this one was actually not so expensive, and it has this ombre like turquoise color. Very pretty. This is just a regular sourdough loaf, although, no pun intended, I used spelt flour for this instead of like wheat flour. So we're gonna see how this is gonna turn out. I haven't used spelt flour with my sourdough yet, so we'll just see. And I used wheat starter for this, unfed as well. And we can put this in already. So it preheats with the oven. And another new thing that I got was this like baking sling that you put in your Dutch oven, so you can put your sourdough on here. That is just so helpful. I got an oval one too if I want to make like sandwich type bread. So good. So while that is preheating, I thought we can start by making some sandwich loaf. I made some yesterday and we used some of it for breakfast this morning. But I wanted to make another sandwich loaf and put that to the freezer. So when I go to see my best friend on the weekend, Krista has something to eat as well. I haven't bought bread from the grocery store since November, and I don't think I'm going back anytime soon because the homemade one is just so much better. But first we need another sip of coffee. Very much needed this morning. And if you're new here, my name is Kristen, and if you're not, then thank you so much for joining back in today. Okay, now we need some honey. I'm gonna use the local honey from our village in Germany, where I'm from. Gonna use 2 teaspoons of that. And I also have to think of what I'm making for dinner tonight. I thought that I could make something in the slow cooker because I'm gonna spend a lot of time in the kitchen today. And I probably won't want to spend any more time after that for actually cooking dinner. So I think a slow cooker meal is the way to go. Now we need 1 cup of warm water. Then we're gonna use half a pack of this yeast. Just need to use this up. Mix it a little so the honey gets combined. And I'll link the recipe of this down below as well. Okay, so I will set this aside for 5 to 10 minutes so the yeast can bloom. So I actually haven't made like a real meal plan for this week, but I have some things in mind that I want to combine or that I definitely want to eat. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to make the sourdough loaf, which is probably going to be our breakfast for the next few days. Then I want to make some carrot salad. Carrot salad stores so well for a couple of days without you having to worry that it goes bad. So that's something I definitely want to prep for the week. Then I want to prep some potatoes. Just like cut them up and keep them in salt water until we're ready to use them, which is probably gonna be either tomorrow or the day after. Then I need to shred some cheese so it's ready for me to use it. It's just basically making my own convenience item, and we'll see what else we can do. And we're gonna do the sandwich loaf right now. I made hamburger buns last week, so we are good on hamburger buns and we're good on tortilla wraps. I don't have to make that anytime soon, which is nice. I keep that in my freezer. But I'm gonna do this prep with me for the week now every week. So it would be really fun to know what you guys are prepping for the week if you're prepping something. So that will give me also some inspiration on what to do. Or if you have something that you want me to try out that I can prep, let me know. But yeah, we are starting with the sourdough loaf. I'm just waiting for the oven to preheat. And I'm just gonna enjoy my coffee a little bit until it does. Oh, and tomorrow is Vastlapäiv here. It's a like national holiday day in Estonia. although I believe it's not a free day. Anyway, it's a celebratory day, and traditionally on that day you eat cardamom buns that are filled with cream, and I also want to make those today, so we have them tomorrow. And while the yeast is still blooming and the oven is preheating, I'm gonna start doing the dough for the cardamom buns, and I'm gonna use my own recipe. I'll just use my regular cinnamon dough recipe that I use for any kind of like sweet yeast dough. It's just so good. It doesn't get dry or like tough or anything, and it always stays moist and fluffy, and this is why it's my favorite. So we need 21 grams of fresh yeast for that. I have fresh yeast that is frozen right here. That's 30. I think it'll be fine because of 28 actually. I think it'll be fine because this was frozen, and sometimes it can lose a little bit of its activity. We need 80 grams of sugar. I'm gonna use this raw cane sugar. Oops, almost made a mess. 80 grams. I just opened that yesterday, so that's why it's not in a container yet. We need 250 milliliters of lukewarm milk. So we gotta take our milk, measure that, and then heat it up a little. I don't have a microwave anymore, so I gotta do everything on the stove or in the oven, which is actually fine. So 250 milliliters. Yep. My recipe calls for vanilla sugar, but I'm just gonna use a good glug of homemade vanilla extract right now. Maybe I shouldn't have added that vanilla extract because it's made with rum and alcohol kills yeast. Okay, we're just gonna figure it out. I'm just gonna let the yeast thaw a little bit, so then it's easier. And I'm not gonna let it bloom. I'll just mix everything together at once then. Yeah, don't do that. I didn't think about that. The extract contains a little bit of rum. So since we're mixing everything together at once, I'm just gonna add my butter now as well, which is 100 grams. $91, I think this little piece, and then 103. I think that's fine. Okay, and then we'll put this on the stove to heat up a little bit. Okay, meanwhile my oven has preheated already. So we are gonna put the sourdough loaf in right now. But first of all, we gotta put it on my sling here. Oh my gosh. Whoop. Nice. Looks a little flat right now, but I think it will rise. Whew, this is hot. I'm very happy right now that I bought this sling, so then it's easier. I'm not gonna score this right now. I'm gonna score it after about 7 minutes. Because if I score it right now, it's just gonna deflate. So I'm gonna put the timer for 35 minutes, and I'm gonna put a timer on my phone for 7 minutes so I remember to score it. Okay, it's getting busy in this kitchen already. So while the butter is melting and the milk is warming a little bit, we can continue with our bread dough. And I will use whole wheat flour for this. I really want to try that. And the yeast has bloomed already. We need a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 of a cup of neutral flavored oil, but I usually use olive oil because I don't have neutral flavored oil at home. And I honestly like the taste of olive oil in bread. And then we need 2.5 cups of this whole wheat flour. Although I think I might do a mix of whole wheat and regular wheat flour. Okay, I guess I'm not doing the mix. I just honestly, as I was saying it, I forgot to grab the other bag. So we're just gonna do a whole wheat sandwich right now. A lot of fiber, that's good. And I still don't have a dough hook, so I'm just using the spoon to mix it. Just gonna mix it a little bit by hand to incorporate everything, and then this is gonna rest for an hour. Maybe even longer, because sometimes whole wheat takes a little bit longer time. And I have not tried this recipe with whole wheat flour or this whole wheat flour in general. So we're gonna see how this is gonna turn out. It's kind of an experiment. But I do like whole wheat products. And if this flour tastes good, I will definitely reorder that. Because I in generally like that brand here. It actually feels beautiful. It's not sticky, but it's hydrated. I'm just gonna cover this and then it can rest for an hour at least. Okay, and we gotta score that now. Ooh. I've also got a scoring razor now. I'm not using my knife anymore. This is the first time I'm using it. Have to say, it works really nice. I always put some ice cubes in with my sourdough. Okay, now it goes back into the oven. It's getting real busy right now. Gotta take a sip of my coffee before it goes cold. Okay, so for our cardamom bun dough, this is the spoon I mixed the whole wheat sandwich loaf with, but it's fine. I'm just gonna use a little bit of salt. Then we need, of course, some cardamom. I love the smell of cardamom. I'm gonna use about a tablespoon, which is all I have left, apparently. So, gotta buy some more cardamom soon. Then we need an egg. Do you see those speckles? So pretty. So, 1 egg. Okay, so I've just waited a little bit for the yeast to kind of melt. It's almost completely molten. There's just this like one little piece left. And now we can go ahead and add our milk and butter mixture in here. And then we can add our flour already. And that's it. I think I'll get enough buns from this and I will be able to take them, or at least some of them, to work. Got our flour here. We just need to weigh it out. We need 500 grams of flour. All right, 500 grams. And this is all-purpose wheat flour. That's 500 grams. Actually, it's 502, but it will be fine. And I will use, again, a spoon to mix it. I don't know why this is kind of wet right now. It shouldn't be this wet. Maybe it needs a minute to hydrate, but it's pretty sticky. Usually it's not like that. Did I add too much milk? I don't think so. Let me just check the recipe. Maybe it's the type of flour because I don't usually use this brand. This is not from the grocery store. This is from some organic brand. It is thickening up, but I think I'll just add a little bit more because it shouldn't be sticky. I think I'll add like 50 grams or something. Or maybe we'll start with 30 and then see. Maybe it's because the flour of this brand that I'm using right now is not as compacted as grocery store flour. I don't know. This could be definitely a reason. And I actually think those 30 grams might have been enough. It's a little bit sticky, but now I think I'll add 20 more. So then it's 550. Okay, I think also my scale is a bit weird. It just stopped measuring. So it might have been actually not the flour, but the scale's fault. Maybe the battery is going empty. I have to check that. Haven't changed it in a long time. But now it feels right. Now it's beautiful. But before we can continue kneading that, I actually need to take the lid off my sourdough and I need to wash my hands for that. And I also just thought that I shouldn't put my Dutch oven, even if there's a towel on here, onto this countertop because this is not stone. I'm gonna use this wooden board. Oh wow, it looks amazing! Look at that! Okay, back in it goes. I'm gonna turn it down to 205 and it will bake for at least 20 more minutes. Wow, that bread looks beautiful. Although I think I could have done the scoring maybe a little bit more aggressively. When you have a small kitchen, you really try to use every centimeter. Look how beautiful this dough is now. This is how it's supposed to be. It's moist, like nicely hydrated, but not sticky. It's a little bit sticky, but it's the right amount of sticky, if you know what I'm saying. And what did you guys do for Valentine's Day? We went to a waterfall together. It was very cold. It was -18 or something outside. And then in the evening we grilled. Yes, at -18. It's never wrong weather for grilling or barbecuing. Just love to do that. I'll just sprinkle the bottom with a little bit of flour. And we'll let this go for 2 hours till it has doubled in size. Just taking a moment to clean up the mess with flour I have made here. I just like a nice and clean surface when I'm cooking or baking. And so I want to do the carrot salad right now. Got my organic carrots here. And we're gonna need my beloved grater. So first we're gonna wash these. These are nice and clean. And with store-bought carrots, I tend to cut off the ends. And if they're good, like here, I will keep them and give them to my horse the next day usually. But with homegrown carrots, I only cut off the top, not the bottom. But for my horse, this is always a welcome treat. It never goes to waste. And some of these have a few little like marks here and there, so I'm just gonna peel them a little. And the peels will also go to my horse. You could make vinegar with those peels, which would also be a really fun project. But, or you could ferment them and eat them. But since they have like a few little marks, I think my horse will enjoy them more. Put all of these scraps into this little container and then Spirit will enjoy them tomorrow. Just secure this here. Do you see how fast that goes? I just love this grater. This has been the best kitchen addition in years, I'm telling you. And all of these very small scraps, technically you could grate them, but I'm just gonna snack on them. So I will transfer these already into the bowl where we will keep the salad in. Oh, doesn't this scream spring to you? And this is also a much safer grater, like when you're working with kids. I don't even need to use the finger guard right now. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just really love this thing. Look, this took me legitimately only like 3 minutes to grate all these carrots. I will never go back to a normal grater. And that's my oven, that's the sourdough loaf. So let's see how it's looking. All right, I'm a bit nervous. Ooh. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful! Wow! Let me remind you, I did this with spelt flour, so I had no idea how this would turn out. But this is looking beautiful. Look at that lip. Do you see that? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. This looks so gorgeous. And the good thing about this sling is also that it's not really hot, or at least it cools off very fast. I'll put this on my cooling rack here. Then it can cool off. I am so happy with this. And I also added a little bit of olive oil to this dough actually, because I read that it keeps the bread like moist and fresh a little bit longer. So I'm excited to see how that will go. But back to our carrot salad. I wonder if I could grate my onions too. I'm sure I can. I think I've tried once in the past, but I don't really remember if it worked or it didn't. So we're gonna try again, and if that works, that will also be a huge time saver. I got a little bit of a bigger onion here. We're just gonna cut the ends off. I think I have to cut this in half because I don't think it fits. No, it doesn't. It doesn't fit in there. Then we'll see if this will work. I'm gonna use my safeguard for this. Okay, I think this onion is still too big. I think we have to half it again. This should work now. Something even coming, no? I don't know. Doesn't work so well, to be honest. I don't know. It's getting more mush than it's getting grated. Maybe I need to use a bigger attachment for this. I'm gonna try to use this slicing attachment. Hopefully that will work a little bit better. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Yes. So I got onion slices now. Yes, this is much better. Okay. I'm just gonna do, since I've already dirtied this attachment, I'm just gonna do the other half of the onion as well. But I think generally, I mean, maybe if you have a large quantity of onions that you have to cut, then maybe this can be helpful. But I think if you just have one onion to cut and you have to dirty another attachment, I think it's not worth it. I think it's easier to cut onions. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually do not cry when I'm cutting onions. I don't know why that is, but I never have to cry, no matter how much onions I cut. I'm aware it's a big privilege, but also every time I'm like cooking with my family, they ask me to cut the onions because I'm the one that doesn't have to cry. And like some pieces are left over here still after grating. And time is progressing, so I've got to get out my slow cooker. I keep it up here because I don't use it that often. Yes. And I'll put it right here on my stove because it can get a little bit hot at the bottom, and I don't really want it on my countertop because I need that space. And I'm gonna let it preheat to high just a little bit. So back to the carrot salad, I'm just gonna give my onions to my carrots. And this dressing could not be easier. It's just salt, pepper, vinegar, and oil, and a little bit of sugar. I always measure this by heart, but I will try to show you how much I approximately use. I use quite a bit of vinegar when doing the salad. It just goes so well together with the carrots. So that was 6 tablespoons. 1 little teaspoon or 1.5 of raw cane sugar. Then we need 1 tablespoon approximately of salt. And remember, this will sit for at least 1 to 2 days before we're gonna eat it, so everything has time to marinate together. I also use quite a bit of pepper. I'm gonna use half a tablespoon of black pepper and then fill up the other half with my white pepper. And if I had, I would also add fresh parsley right now, or fresh chives, or both. I love that in the salad, but I only have those herbs frozen at the moment, so I'm not gonna add them right now because this is gonna sit for a few days, and I don't want the herbs to go bad since they were frozen. So I will add those probably like half an hour or something before we eat the salad. So I'm gonna add 1, 2, 3, 5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And I like the salad better when the strips of carrots are a bit like finer than opposed to if they would be a bit thicker. Looks so good. Let's taste test this. This is so good. Now I have to remember that this hasn't marinated yet, so the flavors will get a little bit more intense as it sits in the fridge. But this is already really, really tasty, so it can only get better from here. It actually doesn't look that much anymore. I feel like I could even add more carrots. But yeah, we'll see. I might do that later. And if you do this, you can add a little bit less salt. I think I went this time a little bit heavy on the salt. It still tastes very good. Just something to be aware of, because I don't like my salads like salty. I like it to be very balanced. Like I said, it still tastes very good. But I think if I'm gonna add some more carrots later, it will be fine. But this dressing hits every single time. It's just so good. Okay, just to let you know, I did grate 2 more carrots into this, and now it is perfectly balanced with the salt. Also because I added the vinegar and everything just lost some volume. So grating 2 more carrots into this was definitely the way to go. I am so excited to eat this. But we're now gonna continue with our dinner tonight. It has preheated already on high for about 45 minutes now. I'm just gonna add some olive oil to this. Oops. I'm gonna add my chicken breasts. I have 3 here. You can hear it sizzling a little. I'm also gonna add these onions that I had pre-sliced in my fridge for a couple of days now. They need to be used up. And now what I wanna do is well, first we have to peel this leek a little bit and wash it. This has been in the fridge also a little bit too long, so we have to cut off quite a bit at the end. Usually I like to use the green part as well. Okay, I just washed it. I really want this snow to melt outside because I want to check on my leeks. I have a couple of leeks in my garden bed, and I just want to check on them to see if they have survived it at all. And so what I want to do this weekend is I want to start some more leeks. So once come, I don't know, like April or maybe at the end of March, we can plant them out. Leeks are one of my favorite vegetables. I just think everything you do with them, they always give off such a beautiful flavor. Now we can just add these. And I'll just cut these mushrooms into slices. So mushrooms going in, and they will release quite a bit of moisture. So you really don't want to add any water to this. But I'm gonna use my cream, and this is oat cream. I have not tried this before, so I just want to try a tiny amount just to see what it tastes like. Wow, this is good. This is a nice alternative if you're looking for a plant-based option, or just a lighter heavy cream option in general. And this only has 145 calories per 100 grams, which is really nice. And I'm gonna use this whole flask here. And we're gonna cook this high for about 3 hours right now. And I haven't put any spices yet. I'll do that later after it has cooked down a little bit. Let's check out our cardamom bun dough. And wow, is this beautiful. Ah, so pretty. Here's our sandwich loaf dough. Oh, nice. It has risen beautifully. I think we're gonna bake this first. Just sprinkle that here. Wow, it's really nice. Light and fluffy. It is a little bit more brittle than when you use the all-purpose flour, but that's fine. Now we're just gonna fold it like that. Yep. And this is my oval-shaped bake sling. It's a little bit too big for this container, but it's fine. Not worrying about that. Put that in here. I'll just use a little bit of water on this so it will get a nice little crust and not dry out also, because this has to rise now for another 15 to 20 minutes and I don't want it to dry out. And let this rise for another 20 minutes. While we are at it with the dough already, I think we can prep our buns. We can at least, because they will also have to rise another half an hour or something, 20 minutes to half an hour. So what we can do is we can shape these already, and then they can rise in their bun shape. Just trying to get kind of equal parts here. Should make larger buns or smaller? That is the question. And then I put these on my tray here with a little bit of baking paper. And I'm just gonna gently brush them with water because I also don't want these to dry out. So I'll just take that piece, fold it around on the edges, and kind of glue them together at the bottom here. And then gently circling it in the palm of my hand on the counter till it's a nice shaped bun. I just flatten them like a little bit. And that's it. So I think our dough has risen quite enough. Looks beautiful. So we're gonna pop this in the oven now. Ooh. I'll do 25 minutes first and then we'll see if it needs any longer. Just washed my board and I think we can start grating our cheese now. And I have this cheddar that's wrapped in this beeswax paper. I love beeswax paper for keeping block cheese because of the like nice moisture exchange. They don't get dry, but they also don't form this condensated water. So we're gonna use that. And then we'll use this big block of Tilsit cheese. Just gonna cut that in half. Cut it one more time. I'm just gonna mix all of these cheeses. I'm not gonna keep the cheddar separate from the Tilsit. I think it will make a nice cheese mix. And I have these small jelly containers here that I'll grate it into. And I've also washed my grating attachment. I'll just dry it a little bit. You can also plop these in a dishwasher, but since I needed them for the carrots and now for the cheese, I didn't do that. And we'll just start grating. I don't like pre-grated cheese because of this anti-caking agent that they usually put in there. So I try to always grate my cheese at home. And this took me less than a minute to grate this much cheese. And to be honest, I don't have the problem that my cheese sticks together. I think it's because I'm keeping it in containers rather than in a bag. And also because it's not getting compacted like it is in like big deliveries from the grocery store. And I think we're actually gonna get 3 containers full of cheese. And if you don't go through all of that cheese in a week, you can also just freeze it and then thaw it and use it up. It took me less than 5 minutes to grate 1.5 blocks of cheese. I'm sorry, I'm just amazed every single time about this grater. I truly am. And you can also add with a marker when you've grated it. But since I'm doing a big prep day today, I think I will remember. And then these can go into our fridge. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna prep some of these potatoes just so they are ready whenever we want to use them this week. I think actually we're gonna use them already tomorrow because tomorrow I have quite a busy day and I'm gonna be in the office. So I think it would be nice if I had some potatoes ready and I don't have to take care of that. We don't need a bunch, but a few. They are from an Estonian farm, but I bought them at the grocery store. I'm gonna go ahead and peel them, and this is a perfect way to prep your potatoes ahead so they are ready whenever you want to use them. They keep like that for 2 to 3 days in the fridge, and I'll wash these before we slice them. And I was thinking I would actually also make a potato salad right now, but I don't have enough fridge space at the moment, so I'm not gonna do that today because we just did a big grocery shop. If you saw my last video, and my fridge is so full, I need to use a few things up before I can store some more prep food. And I think we're gonna do them again on the air fry function because that hits every time. They just turn out so crispy. I think 4 potatoes might be enough. We'll wash them, cut them, and then we'll see if we are gonna do some more or not. If you've seen my potato harvest video from last year, you know that I grew an abundance of potatoes last year. I think we had 34 kilos and they lasted us until last week. And I harvested them at the end of July in last year. But sadly, we ate our last potatoes from our own garden last weekend, so I had to go and buy some. I intend to grow even more potatoes this year. I have big plans for the garden if the weather would just give up already. And I cut them around this thick, about half a centimeter or so. Or now that I'm looking at them, I think we could actually do 1 or 2 more potatoes. Wash these as well. I'm gonna cut them. And that will save me around 15 to 20 minutes of prep time tomorrow. Ooh, that's our sandwich bread. I'll take care of that in a second. So that was super easy. So now we'll just add a little bit of salt and water just until they're covered, like that. And I have these bowl caps or shower caps, whatever you want to call them. I reuse these. So I'm just gonna plop this on here and then put it in the fridge. That's it. Now we have potatoes ready. Just plop them here. And tomorrow evening's dinner is already started now. Now let's take that sandwich bread out. It smells amazing. I did cover it with grill foil midway through. Oh, it smells so good. I'm just gonna test it and see if the rod comes out clean. It does. I think it's done. I'm so excited for that. I gotta let this cool down a little bit before I take it out of this tray. So we're just gonna let it cool down next to our sourdough. Does it get any better than this? I don't think so. And our buns have also beautifully risen, so these can go in the oven now. And I had these covered with a damp dish towel so they wouldn't dry out. And we're gonna whip up the cream in just a bit. But now it is time to take care of our snacks for the week that we can just eat in between. And I want some healthier options. And I have these blueberries here that I bought, but I don't gravitate towards eating them because they are not washed. So we're just gonna wash and cut some things just so they are ready for us whenever we want them. And I'm also gonna boil some eggs. And for the eggs, I'm gonna use my egg cooker just because it's so much easier and they cook perfectly every time. I don't have to worry about it. I'll just poke a hole in the bottom that allows the steam to go inside, and they don't really like crack or anything. And actually, after they've completely cooled down, it also makes the shell come off a lot easier. Oh, this one had a crack before, so I don't think it's good to use it. We'll just put that to the compost. Better safe than sorry when it comes to eggs. And we're gonna fill this up with water. And you can choose between soft, medium, and hard. I want medium. So they are fully cooked through, but they are a little bit soft in the center. And this will start beeping when it's done. So I'm gonna wash our blueberries now. This is just pure baking soda. Wet them lightly so it has time to work its magic. You can use vinegar as well. I'm just using soda today. Let them sit for a minute or so. Everything's beeping right now. The eggs are done and the buns are done, but we're gonna take care of the eggs first. So I'll just take them carefully out. Try not to burn yourself, they're really hot, and just put them in some cold water. That's it. Now we gotta check on the buns. Let's see. Wow, they look beautiful. Oh my gosh. And they smell amazing. Let me show you. Don't they look beautiful? Let's take this out. Oh my gosh, these look amazing. Look at them. Oh my gosh. They could have maybe been a tiny bit lighter, but I still think they're perfect. I'll put the rest of the butter in here and use this when I eat a slice of sourdough later. But look how beautiful these turned out. I am amazed, honestly. And I will just put them onto this cooling rack. They're really hot right now. Looks so good. Just look how beautiful these are. I cannot get over it. And I have to let them cool down here in our living room because my kitchen is full of baked goods right now and all the other things, so I need the space there. And then we will let these just drain a little bit. And I'm also gonna wash some more carrots because I want to make some carrot sticks for snacking. Okay, so before we continue with any of the snacks, I have to do a little break and I have to eat something. I haven't eaten since 7 a.m. this morning and it is now almost 3 o'clock. So I want to try my sourdough bread so bad. It looks beautiful and it sounds beautiful. And I want a slice of that. So I'm gonna cut myself a slice and then I'll sit down and enjoy it. It is fully cooled down by now. It has been cooling down for, I don't know, 5 to 6 hours. Like I said, I've been at it since the morning. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Look at this. It's perfect. This is by far the best loaf I've made. I know it looks a little flat right now, but it isn't. It's just the end where I cut. It goes a little higher, if you can see here. But look at that crumb. Oh, did you hear that? Beautiful. This is the best sourdough loaf I have made thus far. And I think this is my 6th loaf. I used a little bit of olive oil this time to put into the dough. And I've used a little bit more salt. I used, I think, 12 grams. And I've used spelt flour instead of wheat flour in this. This is just so good. I am so happy right now. I'm so happy with that. Just gonna cover it a little bit with a fresh dishcloth so it doesn't dry out. And I'm gonna go enjoy my sourdough now. And here are our hard-boiled eggs. I will just keep them in the fridge and we're gonna eat them this week, but usually they keep even for 1 to 2 weeks. I'm gonna tell you right now, that break was much needed. I've been standing in the kitchen all day, and so it was nice just to sit down for a sec and have a little slice of my sourdough. That was just so good. I'm not gonna peel those carrots. It's fine, because I want them as carrot sticks. I just cut off any like weird spots or anything. And then after prepping our veggies, the only thing that we have left to do is whipping up the cream for our cardamom buns. So they are ready for tomorrow. Now I'll just put these in one of these large deli containers. If they're too tall, I will just halve them. Some of these are. So that's full and ready for us to go. Whenever we feel like snacking on them, I'll put them in the fridge. And our blueberries, I'll just transfer them to a smaller bowl. Some of these blueberries are honestly huge. Do you see how big these are? Woo! They're falling. These are not gonna survive long now that they're washed. Actually, let me put them in one of these containers because they're smaller. I need to save on some fridge space. Actually, I thought I'm gonna whip up a marinated tomato salad because there will be another salad prepped and I need to use up some of these tomatoes. So let's do that. I'm kind of contemplating if I transfer my carrot salad in one of these as well. I think I might. But first, let's take care of this tomato salad. I have these beautiful tomatoes here. And for February tomatoes, these smell pretty aromatic. And we're gonna quarter them. And I think we could even eat the salad tomorrow instead of the carrot salad, because the carrot salad stores a little bit longer than this. Now we need an onion. I think half of this might be plenty already. While I am cutting the onion though already, I will go ahead and cube this up, and I'll just keep this in another container. So I have cubed up onion whenever I want it. So I have cubed up onion whenever I'll need it this week for cooking. And as for the marinated tomato salad, what we will do is, since we're gonna eat this tomorrow, I now can go ahead and add some of my parsley. I have frozen parsley here that's chopped already. And we're gonna use quite a bit of it, because this is a marinated tomato salad. And then I have chives here that I also kept from my garden. And we can use some of these here. I'm not gonna use all because I want to keep some of these. I have barely any left. And we're basically gonna do the same dressing as we did with the carrot salad, which is 1.5 teaspoon of raw cane sugar. Then we'll just use less quantities, but we're gonna add the same things. 2 tablespoons of my spiced vinegar, or maybe 3 even. 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Salt, I'm not gonna measure this, but I think I'm gonna add 1.5 teaspoons, or 1 teaspoon. Some pepper. That was quite a lot of pepper, honestly. I didn't want to add that much. I'll just take some of it off. Now what's gonna happen is I will shake this to mix everything, and then the salt and the vinegar will draw out some moisture and juice from the tomato, and everything will mix so perfectly. It's gonna become like a marinade. That's why it's called marinated tomato salad. And this pulls together so easily, but sometimes during the week when you had a really hard work day and you come home, you just don't have the energy to do it. Oh, this looks so good already. Do you see this juice? Do you see that? That's the marinade I was talking about. We'll try 1 tomato just to see if it needs anything. It doesn't need anything, but the only thing that I will do, just like with the carrot salad, I will add some more tomatoes. Just because it tastes so good, I might want to add it to my lunch or something, and then I have some extra on hand. So I'm just going to add 1 to 2 more tomatoes, and then that's it. No other flavorings. It's perfect. Truly it is. Just adding the rest of my tomatoes. This is gonna go into my fridge now, and we're gonna enjoy this tomorrow evening. And this tomato salad got me thinking that I should also keep my carrot salad in one of these deli containers. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Probably I was thinking it would be hard to mix the carrots, since the structure of the salad is a little bit different than the one of the tomato salad. But we are gonna add that right now to the deli container because it takes up so much less space in my fridge. And then you could also take it to work in these containers because they don't spill, which is really nice. Gonna have to use 2 containers, I think. And can you see all of this juice here? I'm gonna add this back to the container because all that contains so much flavoring, and I don't want that to go to waste. Perfect. And I need this heavy cream right now, because we are gonna whip up the cream now for the bun. It's getting dark outside already. I just wanted to edit my video a little bit before I was preparing this heavy cream, but I totally got carried away, which is typical for me. We're gonna use 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of raw cane sugar. I'm just gonna add this here. This basically keeps your whipped cream stable so it won't go liquid. And our whipped cream is done now. It looks so good. I just took a bun and we're gonna fill one of these right now. So good. This is how it looks on the inside, and it smells beautiful like cardamom. And so what you will do is you will put your whipped cream on there. You could pipe it, but I'm not gonna get the piping bag out right now. Traditionally, you eat this only with the whipped cream, but sometimes the shops, they sell it with some additions like cranberry sauce or strawberry jam, marzipan, cappuccino, whipped cream, whatever you could think of. And I have this jam that I made last year with blueberries from the forest, so we're gonna use that. Oh, this jam is so good. And I just want to mention that I do not use any pectin or thickeners when I'm making my jam. It gets thick like that because I let it cook down for quite some time. Then you can add like a good dollop of that in here. And then you add the top back. And here we have it, our vastlakokkel cardamom cream bun. And they usually also add powdered sugar on top for decoration, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to taste test this right now, but I'll eat this together with Crystal later. I'll just take the top off. And we're going to take a piece out here. Oh, it's so soft. This is how it's looking. Cheers. That blueberry jam, that's next level. These are dangerous. This tastes so good. Everything is fresh, homemade. I don't know. These are honestly, I don't have words. And that doesn't happen very often. They're very, very good. And I didn't tell Crystal today that I'm gonna make these. So he's gonna have a nice surprise when he gets home. And I have this bigger container. 2 of them only fit in here. So these 3 are left over. They didn't fit in any containers. So I'm just gonna fill them right now so Crystal can eat one of them for work tomorrow. I meant for breakfast, of course, not for work. Okay, just to sum it up, here is everything we did today. We did a lot of baking today. We did the sourdough loaf, this whole wheat sandwich bread, which I'm gonna cut into slices and then freeze. We did the vastlakokkel, so the cardamom buns. We washed the blueberries. We washed tomatoes. We prepped our potatoes. We shredded cheese. Cubed up half an onion. We hard-boiled eggs. We made a marinated tomato salad. Carrot sticks for snacking. And a carrot salad. Plus we made dinner, which I am really happy about that I don't have to do it right now. I just gotta cook up some pasta, which is a very easy task, and then we'll be able to enjoy dinner in no time. But if you have made it this far, then thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate every single one of you. And like I said, please leave down in the comments below what you prep for yourself or your family for the week. I'll be highly interested in that, and I think it would be a great inspiration for me. I have some things in mind already for next week, but that's far from now. Thanks again for watching and being here. I truly, truly appreciate it. And if you like videos like this, then please consider subscribing. And with that being said, never forget, you are worthy, you are loved. I hope you have the most amazing day, and I hope to see you back on my channel next time. Bye!